When it comes to weight loss, I am from pain instead of to pleasure.
Half of people in this country want to lose weight. Weight loss is a big thing. I'm not going to sit here and say food isn't important. It's bloody important. And eating is fun, and it should be. And it should be a reward. Why not?
It's like, oh, I ate a meal. I have to get something sweet.
Go ahead and have 3 potato chips. Go ahead and have 3 bites of something. Because once you do, it really whacks that craving right out of there. Go ahead and have 3. It's weird how that works. A naturally thin person just has a very intense awareness of how their stomach feels with regard to eating than somebody who's not naturally thin. The only way that people really make change is in their imagination. Hello, everyone. Today we are here with Zach talking about an extremely important topic for a lot of people. In fact, it turns out about half of people in this country want to lose weight. Weight loss is a big thing. Of course, you would assume people that are already overweight want to lose weight. And in fact, that number is 66%. But the really interesting number was about 26% of normal weight people also want to lose weight. So it's a big deal, wouldn't you say?
I agree.
Welcome, Zach.
Yeah, glad to be here, Julie.
So we start off these little conversations first and foremost with what your outcome is, your goal. So if this conversation went really, really well for you, and it was kind of fun, we'd like to throw that in. What would happen? What would it be like?
My outcome is to have a mentality shift.
Mentality shift. What does that mean?
So I know I need to lose weight.
Oh, by the way, everybody does. Intellectually, we all know that. Okay, good.
So I already know that.
Yep.
And I want to have a healthier look at losing weight instead of it being...
Oh, I have to.
Yeah, I have to. Because I'm definitely, when it comes to weight loss, I am from pain instead of to pleasure.
So away from pain, not toward pleasure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's a really good outcome. I like that 100%. Now, so what you're really wanting a shift in, let's say, maybe we'll define that a little better, is your perspective. So that your feelings and your emotions match your outcome. Because they don't right now.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Makes sense? Okay. Now, we do take a slight step back here and let everyone know that the only way that people really make change is in their imagination.
Yeah.
Okay. So all the intellectual stuff doesn't work, okay? Because we all know what we should and shouldn't do, but most of the time we don't do it. So that is, by the way, if I can just take a little deviation here, that's exactly the problem with diets, okay? So a diet is 1,000% intellectual. Eat this, don't eat this, weigh this, measure that. Okay? Which is why, newsflash for anybody who's been on a diet, they fail like, I don't know. I don't have the percentage, but it's an extremely high amount because people can't just white knuckle it, and keep forcing themselves to do things they truly don't want to do, and their emotions are not matched up with their outcomes. So the diet industry is just such a scam. Such an incredible scam. But what else do? You want to lose weight, you're having trouble doing it on your own. Naturally, you could go to some people that supposedly know what they're doing. Well, in fact, it really doesn't work that way, sadly.
Yeah.
So dieting is just a cyclical frustration that keeps happening over and over again. And many times, I don't know if you've experienced this, but many times people end up gaining more weight after the diet.
Yeah.
Just because they've been torturing themselves so long, they're like, screw it, I just want to eat, So, my advice, as someone who, by the way, spent 15 years in the weight loss business, so I kind of know what I'm doing, you can just go ahead and ditch the diets. Just
okay.
Full blast. Don't even put yourself through that. Absolutely no need. So you want to change your outlook. So describe to me some of the struggle. How has it been a struggle for you?
I feel like food has been a comfort, and I feel like that's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Because struggle with my self-image. It's like, oh, well, I can't change it, so I'm going to eat whatever I want. And it has had a lot of health issues with me. Like my blood pressure and everything has gone up, and I've had to get on medication for that.
Oh, boy.
And it's like, I want to get to a point where it's like, I don't live to eat, I eat to live.
Right.
And it's been, I live to eat. Like when I get a paycheck, it's like, oh man, let's go out to eat.
You want to go to the grocery store.
Yeah. It's like, I want to feel good. And that's how I've associated feeling good, is by eating whatever tastes good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm all about things that taste good. I'm not going to argue with you there, buddy. So let's take a step back and look at this. So from a hypnotist standpoint, by the way, all kinds of behaviors are in the same category. They're things we do to feel better, get rid of stress, relieve anxiety, whatever the case may be. Those primarily include overeating, overdrinking, smoking cigarettes, and could be other things too. But they're all in that category. So do not let people say, "Oh, you have a disorder," or "You're dysfunctional with your eating," or any of that crap.
Yeah.
Because really, all this is the good news, folks, a bad habit. That's it. Full stop. It's just a bad habit. Now, that's actually good news, because habits can be changed, as we know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take awfully long.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then all of a sudden, whatever you change your old habit to the new habit, that new habit becomes your habit. And then it becomes unconscious, so you don't have to think about it. You would not want to, for an example, have to torture yourself for the rest of your life.
No.
Going, I need to eat this, I can't eat that, and making intellectual decisions about everything you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. So as a foodie, I admit I'm a self-admitting foodie here. Food is very important to me. I happen to be a really good cook. I think you know that.
Yep.
And you've tasted some of my things.
Yes, I have.
So I'm not going to sit here and say food isn't important. It's bloody important.
Yeah.
And eating is fun, and it should be. And it should be a reward. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So none of that is a problem. What's a problem is when you go from enjoying whatever it is, just enjoying it, to needing it.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Like need it to calm down, need it to get rid of anxiety, need it to reward yourself in some bigger way. Okay. So how does that play out like in your daily life, besides getting your paycheck and running to the grocery store?
Like if I'm stressed, or I, made it through the day, let's just say, just made it through the day. I got home and I didn't, lose my mind. It's veggie straws, or
those aren't bad.
Those aren't bad, but it's like the quantity becomes
quantity. Okay, yeah, there's that.
becomes that. And I definitely learn from watching my dad, he has to have a sweet after every meal. And that's something that I've been trying to regulate and switch things, but it's like, oh, I ate a meal, I have to get something sweet.
Right. Again, a habit, right? No problem.
Yep.
And by the way, one little Andes mint, okay, that's kind of what I go to. One little Andes mint now and then, that's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Eating a whole big piece of pie might be different.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's not an Andes
No,
mint.
I know, but it could be.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now here's an interesting thing that, as you were talking, that just flashed in my head. This is a very important thing to know.
Okay.
What happens is when we have a taste for something, like say chocolate, could be anything. It turns out that after about 3 bites of it, you completely lose your taste for it, like you're craving for it, in other words. Like it still tastes good and you can still enjoy it. But this, I really want a piece of chocolate feeling goes because you have it. It's something that we taught in the classes quite a bit. Go ahead and have 3 potato chips. Go ahead and have 3 bites of something. Because once you do, it really whacks that craving right out of there. And then you're just eating to eat it, which doesn't bring the same enjoyment.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like if you have a craving for some chips and you don't eat them and there's the bag and you're not eating them and you're, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Go ahead and have 3. It's
Okay.
weird how that works.
Yeah.
It's very weird how that works.
Yeah, it definitely
So you got to know a
is.
little few of those tricks of the mind.
Huh.
So that's why they say sort of anything in moderation.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a little bit of anything. That's really true.
Okay.
Personally, I love chips.
Yeah.
You know, the kettle, the extra crunchy kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give me any Lay's. I like kettle chips. So, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Interestingly, after about 3 bites, your craving does not appear the same way. Also, actually in your mouth, you don't have to have a big old glob of it to get the taste. Like, especially for something like chocolate or stronger flavored things, you could have a teeny, teeny little piece of chocolate, swirl it around on your tongue, and your whole mouth is happy. Like your enjoyment level does not increase with the size of the piece of chocolate in your mouth. It's the fact that your taste buds are tasting it. But see, you only have so many taste buds. Like there's no taste buds in your cheek or the roof of your mouth or anything like that. So if you smear it around on your taste buds and your taste buds get that woo of chocolate, they're kind of good. And interestingly, it's funny how it works. It just doesn't take a whole big piece of it. Nothing wrong with eating one piece, you know, but like, because I used to experiment with that. Like, because sometimes I have a taste for a sweet after dinner or whatever. So I'd get I like dark chocolate with caramel, and I'd just get just a little thing like this, and I'd only take a wee little piece off of it, and damn if it didn't work.
Yeah, because I've switched a lot of my diets, and I used to hate dark chocolate, but that's the only kind of chocolate I eat now.
I can understand that completely.
And like a little cup that's about that big and about that big around, and I fill it up, not all the way, but just get, a bunch of little pieces like you'd put like in a cookie or whatever.
Like Nestle's morsels or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I eat those. But by the time I get to the end of it, it's like you're saying, like I already kind of got the hit, but
but you're still eating. So this would be just for fun and giggles. You can try it, see how it works for you. If they're the Nestle's, morsels, try 3, one at a time, super slow. You know how they kind of melt if you leave them in your mouth long enough. So just let it wander around in there, kind of really savor it. Because really, if you're enjoying food, I think a lot of that is savoring whatever you're eating.
Yeah, I don't feel like I do that.
No, most people don't.
Yeah.
Whether they're overweight or not, most people don't. I'm a big savorer.
Okay.
Especially since I spent so long cooking, it takes some time to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So this would be something to play with. You don't have to like slow down with everything you eat, but just as an experiment, just something to try. Try 3. You can always go back to the rest later if you want, but try 3, one at a time, super slow, really enjoy it. Like maybe think of it like this is the last Nestle's morsel I'm going to be able to eat in my whole life. So I really got to love it and just see what happens.
Okay.
I'll bet you anything that the rest of it is like, nah.
I don't need it.
Nah.
Okay.
And it's not because you shouldn't. It's because, no, I really, no, I'm fine.
The craving has been satiated.
Like, if you've been working out in the yard all day and you're really hot and sweaty and icky, you go in and take a shower and you finally get all that off you.
Yeah.
You don't need to stand in the shower. You're already good.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's be more specific about your outcome then.
Okay.
Is there a specific thing that you would like to feel different about in your eating habits? Because I had something in mind, but I want to know what you think.
I'm not 100% sure.
Is there anything you think that's really been like most unhealthy or most difficult to control?
Stuff with a lot of sodium in it. I feel like
sodas.
Sodas, chips, because I know that goes with like blood sugar. The more sodium you have, like it does up your sodium intake. So like I'm definitely more of a sweet person, but I do want my like savory, salty things as well.
Yep.
So that's something, but I'm curious what your thought was.
Well, I know that you have pretty much stopped diet sodas.
Sodas in general. Like
sodas
I'll have a Sprite every now and then.
Yeah. Well, I'm not concerned about the every now and then. So that was a big deal. So how many sodas were you consuming in a day in the height of it?
In the height of it? It was worse on the weekends.
Of course.
I would drink 2 2-liters in a weekend.
2 2-liters. Wow.
Of Coke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And now what's going on with your liquid intake?
I drink way more water than anything else.
Lovely.
I've cut out caffeine pretty much altogether, unless it's like in something else. I might drink like a hibiscus tea every now and then.
How much sweet tea do you drink?
Unless my wife makes it, none. And she doesn't make it all the time. And if she does, it's like a hibiscus, like raspberry. It's not like old school Southern sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
And she limits the sugar in there too.
Well, sweetening things with stevia is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with stevia?
Yeah, I
okay.
am.
Yeah, because that's a natural product that doesn't give you the calories and such. And it actually tastes good, better than the pink stuff and yellow stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross. Okay, so how much of a struggle do you think it is now, even now, that you've kind of backed off sodas?
If I have a really stressful day,
then you want one.
then I want one.
Okay.
Then it's like, oh man, I'm going to go buy a Dollar General on the way home. It'd be pretty easy to just stop in and get something.
Sure.
You know, like that is like when I am stressed out.
That's your dealer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, well, I could just get it on the way home.
Sure.
That sort of deal. So
how about would a good outcome be that you just get rid of that craving, let's say?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Entirely?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So would you like to play a little imagination game with me?
I'm down.
Okay. All right. So close your eyes. Start by taking a nice deep breath in for me. And as you let it out, Zach, I just want you to kind of begin to relax your body, allowing yourself to relax a little bit more with each word you hear and each breath that you take, allowing your shoulders to kind of let loose, your stomach muscles, relaxing a little bit more with each word you hear and each breath you take. And we're going to have you really turn on your imagination next. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that it's been one of those days. First of all, it's really hot. Kind of gets that way in Florida. It's really hot. You've had a crackerjack day at work. It's only by the grace of God your head didn't explode. It's one of those. Okay. So you are really feeling the need for a nice soda. Can you get in touch with that feeling?
Oh yeah.
What's that like?
It's just like this craving, and it's like I know I shouldn't do it, but
Yeah, but if you get rid of that guilty part, what is it like? Can't wait.
yeah, I can't. Yeah,
Oh my
I'm
goodness,
looking
that's going to
forward
be
it.
great. Yep,
Yeah.
that's really good. Okay, so as you are driving home, thinking about this soda, there'll be the soda at the house, so you won't have to go to your dealer. So I want you to vividly imagine that intensity gets higher the closer you get to the house. Can you really imagine that? You can imagine relaxing, taking it easy, getting the stress of the day off of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's right. Okay. Now, as you sit here, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being high, what would you say your desire at this moment in your imagination is for that Coke?
I'd probably say like a 7.
Okay. Is there any time when your desire was at a 10?
Yeah.
What was going on if it's a 10?
Having to do a ton of stuff at work and then at home, and
Okay, let's make it one of those days.
okay.
So you just had a bonzer day at work. It was just crazy hectic,
Mm-hmm.
coming and going, flying around. Now you've got a whole bunch of stuff to do at home, and you only have about 5 minutes for your Coke.
Okay.
And it's really hot,
Yeah.
and you're tired, and you're stressed. Now, what's the number? Really imagine it.
It's a 10.
That's
yeah.
a 10. Okay, just settle into that. Really double check that's true. It really is high.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Now, so you get out of your car and you walk in to the house. And weirdly, there are no sodas in the refrigerator. So you look around because, you really want one. And it turns out that there's one that was sitting on the floor in a stack of things that kind of had been forgotten for a while. So it has some dust, on the top of the can. It's a can. and a little grease maybe from sitting. It probably came in from the garage from a few months back. And you pick it up. Now it's warm. Of course, it's hot outside, so it's warm. You can see the can is a little bit scuffed or dented, and got that little filmy, gritty, grimy stuff on the top of the can. But, it's a Coke and you need one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't know it, but that can had been stored out in the garage for quite a long time. But you pick it up anyway, and you pop the tab expecting to hear, right? And instead you just hear, and you look inside. There isn't a bubble to be found. It is flatter than flat. And as you kind of move the can around, you can see it's kind of thick because somehow it's just kind of condensed in there like it's been sitting there for a really long time. Okay, but you really want the Coke and it's been a bad day. So weirdly, I want you to vividly imagine, Zach, you actually pick it up because it is a Coke and you go ahead and you drink it. Now I want you to really imagine. So it tastes, first of all, it's very metallic tasting on your tongue, right? And it's a little bit kind of thick, almost syrupy, sickeningly sweet. Sickeningly sweet because it's a little thick and viscous. And then you continue to drink it because it's been such a bad day and it is a can of Coke and it just gets worse the more you drink it. Now it's starting to hit your stomach. Okay, now I want you to tell me what that's like.
It feels like acid is being poured into my gut.
Yes. And I especially want you to focus on that super sweet, kind of sickeningly sweet, thick, because it's already coating your tongue. You know how sugar does when it coats your tongue, makes you feel fuzzy? Well, it's a metallic taste too, so it doesn't even, feel remotely healthy. But now all that's beginning to slide on down into your tummy. And that feels what?
Like I'm about to
heave.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I really wish this isn't in my body.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, being the kinesthetic guy you are, that's particularly vile, is it not?
Yeah. Very.
Okay. So does it feel like your body wants to take that in?
No.
Not
it wants
at
to get
all.
rid of it.
Like, oh my God, this is awful. So does it feel kind of bloated, little gassy, crampy? Ugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want you to turn your attention to water. And I want you to start vividly imagining cold, clean, fresh, sparkling clear water. The healthiest thing you can put in your body. Cold, refreshing water. So I want you to imagine that there is that option. And actually, this particular water you're imagining would completely neutralize all that nasty, icky stuff in your tummy. So, but as you picture the water, cold, refreshing, clear, healthy, can you imagine how that would feel in your body?
It feels like a spring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just rejuvenating me.
Rejuvenating. And as you imagine that beautiful, clean, cold water being taken into your body, does that have some impact on the rest of your body? Like the idea of hydration and...
Yeah, it's like I'm not as hot because it's cooling me down.
That's right.
That nasty taste is getting out of my mouth.
Right. It's just good all kinds of which ways. So as you think about your desire for a Coke, while it's still sitting there in your tummy, what's your desire for a Coke now?
Way less. It's
Give me
like
a number.
It's a zero.
Zero. No, God, no, get me away from that.
Yeah.
All right. So now back to the lovely, cold, fresh, clear water that just does so many great things for your body. What would you say your desire is for a cold drink of water?
At this point, a 10.
10. Okay. Now I want you to dive into those feelings.
Okay.
Imagine how it would taste in your mouth, how it's instantly refreshing. It cleans out all that icky stuff. It's instantly refreshing, and as you take it into your body and it begins to hit your stomach, it's just like that beautiful hydration just goes everywhere. Every molecule in your body just craves it and loves it. It's actually kind of a craving, isn't it? Okay. So what would you say your desire for a cold drink of water is at this moment?
It's a 10.
It's a 10. Are you absolutely sure?
Yeah.
Doubles check. Okay. Now, open your eyes. Have a drink. I bet you want one.
I do.
I think you kind of do.
I was like, I can't wait to.
I know you're wondering, where can I get some water? Nice. Take a big slug. That's all right. Is that doing it for you?
Mm-hmm.
Does that satisfy your craving there?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Now, what color is your front door?
White.
White. Okay. And how many tires does your car have?
4.
None in the trunk?
None in the trunk.
Okay. So it's legit 4. All right. That's okay. How do you say 4 in Italian?
Quattro. I don't know.
Yes, that's it.
Is it quattro?
Quattro. Mhm,
Oh, okay.
Quattro. Exactly right. Okay. Now, I want you to go back. We want to check this out.
Okay.
So, this is called an ecology check. I want you to go deep inside. You don't have to close your eyes. In fact, it's better if you kind of look up just a little bit. See if you can go inside and recreate that original desire, which I believe was a 10, or at least a 7, if not 10, for a Coke. And tell me if that's changed.
It's hard to feel that.
What happens when you try?
I just think of the nasty Coke.
The nasty, and how does it hit you more, the nastiness, because of how it tastes and the fuzzy in your mouth or in your stomach? I'm curious.
I feel like the taste hits me, but I know that the stomach is going to be more long lasting.
That's right.
And that's not worth it.
Exactly. Which is why they have the saying, nothing tastes as good as being thin feels.
Mm.
And I would say, actually, it is, I completely agree with you. It's beyond just the initial taste, although that was gross and disgusting.
Yeah.
It's the stomach where the rubber meets the road on that stuff. Now, interestingly, one of the differences between people who are overweight and what we call naturally thin people, I don't think naturally thin people are just born that way. I think they just evolve with a set of habits that are different, is all that really means. So there's nothing special or unique about naturally thin people.
Yeah.
I've been naturally thin my whole life, okay? And so when I got into the weight loss business, talking with all these people who are overweight, I kind of assumed some of my habits or the way I went about eating or checking in with my body were what everybody did.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Turns out not at all. Not at all. So I think the main thing I learned after doing all that work with overweight people was one of the most significant differences was simply this. A naturally thin person just has a very intense awareness of how their stomach feels with regard to eating or drinking than somebody who's not naturally thin. And when that hit me, I went, wow, but that's so easy to change, right?
Yeah.
So is it true that most of the time you are, when you're thinking about eating or in your old, let's say your old bad habit, that it was about the taste?
Oh, yeah. Like the repercussions were down the road.
Correct. So basically it would be fair to say that your awareness was almost all on taste.
Yeah.
Okay. And practically nothing on your stomach.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, being a kinesthetic guy, this is probably going to be really easy for you in all seriousness, but anybody can do this. I do this. Okay. And I'm not kinesthetic. So I'm curious, what do you think would happen? So if we're talking about a new habit, let's just make it super easy. What would happen if the only change you made in your effort to lose weight was that before you eat or drink anything, even water, that you take 2 or 3 seconds and vividly imagine how it would feel in your stomach. Vividly imagine how it's just, we know it tastes a certain way, but your awareness goes, foomp, and it's like you got to check in with your stomach, because if your stomach likes it, you're good to go. And that would be the thing you're eating or the quantity you're eating, either one.
Yeah.
Like I adore salads, but there is such a thing as a salad that's too big.
Yeah, there is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I think, sometimes they do these in restaurants, when they come with these gigantic, pile, I'm like, oh, for the love of God, please. Because the first thing I'm thinking is all that in my stomach, oh, I can't possibly. It might be the best salad in the world, but I'm probably going to say, can I have a to-go box first? And then I'll, divvy it up.
Half it up, yeah.
Because actually it becomes instantly unappetizing to me and kind of gross, frankly, to think about cramming even though it's all healthy, all that volume in my stomach is,
Yeah.
How might that be different if you could just sort of imagine just 2 or 3 seconds, but it's for everything?
I think that would change a lot of things because I know anytime I eat something that I'm not supposed to or the quantity, there's like my stomach is wrecked. Let's just be honest.
Yep, true.
And then it's like, if I can just like, all right, I know the end before I even get there, like that would make my choices different.
It would, but it's actually not even about the end. It's about when it hits it.
Yeah.
Like if I were to eat that great big huge salad, I'm feeling crappy in my stomach way before I get to the end.
Yeah, that's why
so it's like immediate. Yeah. It's not like, oh my God, I'm gonna roll around like, after Thanksgiving turkey, everybody in a food coma. That could go on for hours. But I'm saying you don't even get up from the table at Thanksgiving dinner without going, oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it's fairly immediate.
Mm-hmm.
So how would that change things, do you think?
I would be more cautious and change habits.
You would be more cautious about what?
Making bad choices about
the
taste.
Would you be more cautious or would you be more confident?
Confident sounds like a better way of living than cautious.
Right, because you're not making a mistake. Listen, your stomach. Okay, I need to teach you a few things about your stomach. Okay. So imagine, this is more imagination. You up for that?
I'm down.
Okay, all right. So your stomach is completely empty.
Okay.
Not a speck of things in it. Okay. Now I have a beautiful, thick, juicy cheeseburger with every way you'd like it.
Okay.
Probably bacon and whatever you like on it. I don't care.
Okay.
And it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, somehow that's going to bypass your mouth and go, land in your stomach right now. Tell me what that feels like.
Greasy. I feel lethargic.
Already.
Bloated.
Bloated. Can you feel the bread is kind of like expanding and icky and you feel the grease from the Okay. Now, does it feel, because you're kinesthetic, you're going to get this right away. Does it feel like your body wants to take that in?
No.
No, they call it a gut bomb for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So your whole body's going, why did you do that? Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. All right. All right. So let's take that out.
Okay.
Okay. Do you like shrimp cocktail?
I'm allergic to shrimp.
Not a good example. Small salad, however you like a chicken Caesar, something, something good, nice. But it's a little petite. It's not tiny, but it's a little petite, but super fresh. Like the lettuce is crispy and cold, and the dressing, whatever it is good. And I don't believe in diet salad dressing, by the way, just for those out there that think that's great. Dressing makes the salad, but it's all healthy. It's got good veggies, whatever.
Yeah.
So now that skips your mouth and goes right into your tummy. What does that feel like?
I feel lighter.
Yes.
I feel like I have a good mix of things in there, protein and greens. And I feel like I actually have energy instead of feeling lethargic.
You can actually feel it would give you energy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Because it would, of course. Yeah. All right. And again, the other test, does it feel like your body wants to take that in?
Yeah.
For sure. It's going, oh boy, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's nothing bad that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, notice we didn't have real food here, sadly. The salad kind of sounds good right about now. But your stomach had a whole lot to say about all of that, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that interesting to you? Is that surprising?
Not really surprising, but it is interesting.
So the point is then if you focus more on it, that could give you a lot more information to make choices.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's all it is, really. It's just kind of flipping. It's fine if things taste good. I'm all about that. But it's flipping that awareness from the mouth to the stomach and just making sure your stomach's giving you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, most people don't realize how fine-tuned your stomach really is. Okay. So this time, I want you to imagine completely empty stomach, nothing in it. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine I have a Cheeto.
Okay.
Okay. One Cheeto. That's all.
Yeah.
They're orange, about this big.
Yep.
And I want you to imagine that goes directly in your stomach. One Cheeto. Tell me how that feels in there.
artificial.
It does, doesn't it? Well, it's all that fake
Yeah.
cheese they spray on it. Okay,
Yeah.
so
it just feels artificial and
right?
puffy.
Puffy.
Yeah.
Can you taste kind of the kind of, I don't know,
It's like
metallic, that fake cheese just is not, that's not a real deal.
Yeah.
And that you can feel that in there, can't you?
Yeah.
It's one Cheeto, but you can feel it.
Mhm.
True?
Oh, yeah.
What else?
My stomach doesn't want it.
Really? Just even
Yeah.
that one little Cheeto?
Yeah. It's like,
Fascinating.
this isn't going to be good.
Please don't touch the rest of the bag. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more, please. Yes, even one Cheeto feels that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take that one out.
Okay.
Okay, it's gone. Now, completely empty stomach.
hmm
Here's the exact same size carrot. Crunchy. It'll be a little cold because it was in the fridge. A carrot just that big, crunchy. It feels a little sweetness to it,
Okay.
because it's really a good carrot.
Yeah.
That goes in your tummy. What does that feel like?
Trying to get past my tongue and
Yep, just
my
no,
mouth.
stomach
It's just
only.
Stomach.
Stomach. It's crunchy, it's crisp, it's cold, it's a little sweet. Nice carrot.
It definitely feels healthier.
Yep.
Yeah,
Feels more substantial, doesn't it?
it's
the
not,
Cheeto.
It's not just air. And,
Right.
There's
something to it.
it feels more like fuel than
Yes. That's
junk.
a good way to say it.
Yeah.
And of course, your body wants to take that in.
Yeah, it
It
does.
would love a nice carrot,
Yeah.
turns out.
Yeah. Who would have
All right.
thought?
Now, who would have thought? I know. Carrots are like that. I think horses like them for a reason,
Yeah.
That
true.
and apples.
Mhm.
I'm actually personally, I'm not a big apple fan. I mean, like I wouldn't go out of my way to have.
I love apples.
I don't dislike them. They're just not my thing.
Yeah.
But every single time, like if they're a garnish on a plate or something and I eat them, my tummy goes, oh, those are so good. Those are just so good because they are.
Yeah.
They're great for you.
Yeah.
And they feel good. So sometimes we don't necessarily have to have a taste for something in order for our stomach to really like it.
Yeah.
Apples for me is like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, it's nice when they're both the same, but they don't
Yeah.
have to be. All right. So now we know that, again, although we didn't have a real Cheeto and a real piece of carrot here, weirdly, your stomach, again, had a great deal to say about both of those.
Yeah.
So, again, without real food here, your stomach had lots and lots to say about
Oh,
both.
yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it? So, in terms of creating a well-formed outcome,
hmm
we know that we don't want to bother with any stupid, pain in the neck diets.
Yeah.
We don't want to intellectually, force ourselves to do what's right or what we should do or ought to do, because that's not a long-term strategy. We want to make it something that you actually want to do. So have we discovered maybe a couple things that you want to do differently?
Yeah. Thinking about how my stomach is going to feel about things.
Huge.
I think that is like a game changer. And then
That is a game changer.
like eating 3 of those, whatever it is.
A taste of 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that feels like a whole game changer.
I must, in full disclosure, I literally do that.
Okay.
I mean, I told you I love
Yeah.
potato chips, salt and pepper potato chips especially.
Oh.
They remind me of Italy because they serve them a lot in there. Anyway, but I literally will go and unwrap my little bag and take, little, usually it's 2 or 3 or 4 that I get. And after you eat them, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, that was good. I liked it. It tasted great.
Yeah.
Tasted like I wanted it. And then, I can go on with my business.
Yeah. That's going to be a huge game changer, both
Great.
of those things.
Great. Well, let's end it there. So now, dun, 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 tune in next week to find out if Batman saves the day. No, if Zach ends up having some changes occur. All right. So the actual weight loss numbers that you want to create
hmm
should be sort of your milestones or your benchmarks as to whether or not things are working.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe you could just start checking that out a little
Okay.
bit. Mostly though, I'd like you to check out how clothes start feeling different.
Yeah.
Like I don't want you to obsess about, oh my God, I lost a pound or half pound or I didn't,
Yeah.
or I gained a half pound. Cause it fluctuates. But if you can just start make a real clear point in your head about like where your belt loop
hmm
is fastened or how certain things fit.
Yep.
How pants come on easy or not. Start noticing how your clothes fit differently. That's another sort of gentler way to go through, because this isn't a sprint.
Yeah.
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
So let's just pace ourselves
Okay.
and, use the benchmark of clothes fitting differently. Some people enjoy doing things like are you an XL?
3. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's a bit loose on you, I must say. So whatever size you are, just for fun and giggles, don't spend a lot of money on it because you're not going to be in it long.
Yeah.
But get the next size down.
Okay.
Sometimes girls will do that with like a bathing suit or a pair of shorts or something. But a t-shirt, whatever you like, get one size smaller that would be too small right now, and then like hang it up somewhere. Just hang it in the bathroom, hang it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Just hang it up somewhere. Just kind of look at it because it's really fun. Success is fun. So when you're thinking, without paying a whole lot of attention to the scale, when you're thinking like, this is starting to feel looser, I wonder if I could fit it. I bet, and you put it on, it's like, it fits.
Yeah.
That's a moment.
I like that.
You want some of that. So just get some little something inexpensive that you can stick up there that's a little too small right now that you could fit into soon.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
You're welcome.